Welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. Math, and today we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting integers. Don't go anywhere. Alright, mathletes, so let's dive into this. So let's look at these rules for adding and subtracting integers. Alright, so integers, we're just talking about non-fractions, right? We're talking about whole numbers, but we're also going to include those negative numbers. So positive and negative numbers, no fractions. Alright, so right now let's focus on adding integers. So here's our rule. If the integers have the same sign, so say they're both positive or they're both negative, all you're going to do is add those two numbers up and they keep that sign. I'll show you some examples. All right. And what happens if their signs are different when you're adding them? Well, you just subtract the two numbers and keep the sign of the bigger number. All right. So let's do some examples so you can end up as happy as this guy.
Okay, I don't know what to do here.
So here we go. Let's do a bunch of examples. So notice, as you're going through this, notice all these are being added. So all these are addition, the ones that we're looking at right now. And what you want to see is these numbers that you're adding, do they have the same sign or do they have different signs? That's what you're looking at. So here, obviously, they have different signs. So the rule says we do this. You do, when they have different signs, you do the big number minus the small number, which is 4, and keep the sign of the bigger number. So since the 7 was larger and it was negative, my answer is -4. All right, so you always keep the sign of the bigger number. So here, if I just look at 3 and 7, ignoring the signs, 7's larger and it's negative, so my answer is negative. That easy. Let's do some more. All right, here, when I look at these, they have different signs. The 8 is larger and it's positive. So my answer is going to be positive. Let's check it out. All right, so according to our rules, we go ahead and subtract big number minus small number. We get 3 and you keep the sign of the larger number. So that's why it stays positive 3. So again, if there is no sign in front, right, like here, we assume that it's positive. Let's do another one. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do -8 plus 12. Opposite signs, so we subtract 12 minus 8, and I know most of you could do that in your head, which is 4, and you keep the sign of the larger number, which the larger number was 12, and the 12 was positive. So my answer is +4. Let's keep doing this. So we got 7 minus 2, right? Because the signs are opposite. So big number minus small number, we get 5. And which number was larger? The 7, and it was negative. So keep the sign of the larger number. All right. And this last one here in this column, it's a little different because now, check this out. The signs are the same. So when you're adding the same signs, look at the rules we just talked about. It says you actually add the numbers. Where'd that 13 come from? I'm thinking ahead. So you add those two numbers, 12 plus 1, ignore that sign, and you get 13. And notice they were both negative, so your answer stays negative. All right, so you add the numbers, you keep the sign when you're adding two numbers that have the same sign. All right, let's find some more like this. So check this one out. -12 plus -5. They're both negative. So we go ahead and add those numbers, 12 plus 5, which gives us 17. But notice they were both negative, so they stay negative. All right. So again, some very easy tips to use to follow. And again, you need to practice quite a few of them, and then you're gonna see, oh, this isn't bad at all. All right, let's do one more, and I'll leave the rest for you to follow and to comment down below. All right, so -10 plus 12. So They have the opposite signs, so we do 12 minus 10, which is 2, and you keep the sign of the larger number, which the larger number was 12, so it stays positive. All right, so go ahead and I want you guys to comment down below. Tell me what you get for 6 plus negative 11. All right, comment down below and we'll see what you get. So that's how we add, right, two integers that either have the same sign or that have different signs. So the big question is, well, what happens when we subtract them? Well, let's take a look. All right, so when we're subtracting integers, the number one thing we must do is smash that like button, subscribe, and don't be greedy. Tell a friend about our videos, help them out, all right? So let's look at this. So when you subtract, depending on your instructor or your teacher, some of them, instead of writing down same, they'll say keep. It means the same thing, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep that first number the same. We're gonna change the subtraction sign to an addition, and then you're gonna change the sign of that last number. So here we have some rules, but instead of just looking at all these rules, let me just show you, all right? But I know a lot of you guys like rules, so go ahead and write those down if that's you, if it better suits you. All right, so here we go. These are what the rules tell us. So the rules say, that first number, that 5 here, you keep it the same. Nothing happens to that first number. But when you see a subtraction, right? When we see a subtraction, you're gonna change the subtraction to an addition. All right? So write that down. And then this 8, what we're gonna do, instead of just writing 8, we're gonna change that sign. We're gonna make it a negative 8. All right, so let's do a little recap. So we did, that 5 stayed the same. The subtraction, you changed it to an addition, and that 8, you now made it negative, right? And the reason we did this is now look, now we're adding two numbers. You already know how to add two integers. So here, these have opposite signs. So all we do is subtract 8 minus 5. 8 minus 5 is 3, and we keep the sign of the bigger number, right? So it's negative because the 8 was larger. Let's do another one. All right, so here we go. The first number stays the same, so that negative 2 stays the same, right? That first number never changes, not even on Sunday. That subtraction, change it to an addition. Boom, we change it to addition. That last number, you always change the sign. Always. All right, you always change the sign. And bam, what do you know? All of a sudden, we're left with another addition. And that's what we want, because you know how to handle addition problems. So negative 2 plus 8, they have opposite signs. So big number minus small number, which 8 minus 2 gives me 6. The 8 is the larger number and it's positive, so that 6 stays positive. All right. Let's go back to one that's really easy. 4 minus 3, you know the answer is 1. But let's see if our rules stay consistent, if they give us the same answer. So according to our rules, you take that first number, stays the same. The subtraction, you change it to an addition. And that 3, right, you change it to a negative 3. So 4 plus negative 3. Well, they have the opposite signs. So you do the big number minus the small number. 4 minus 3 is 1. And you keep the sign of the larger number. So positive. So of course it's 1. So again, these rules, right, they never change. And that's what's great about this. And once you've had enough practice, right, you're never going to have issues with sign numbers again. And this is something you really need to practice, because as you move forward, you're going to use this over and over and over again. All right, let's do 2 more and I'll let you do these other problems here. All right, so 5 minus 6, let's go ahead and change it. So we got 5, the negative changes to a plus, addition. That 6 is going to change to a negative 6. All right, big number minus small number. So we end up with 6 minus 5, which is 1. Keep the sign of the larger number. The larger number is 6, and it's negative. So it's negative 1 there. All right, last one. We got -3. Change that subtraction to a positive. Change that 6 to a -6. And if you notice here, now we're adding two negative numbers. So what did we say? Well, we just add 3 plus 6, which is 9, and keep their sign, which is negative. All right, folks, so your homework. Go ahead and do these problems right here. And pick one, comment down below, let us know which one you did and what your answer, what you got. All right, folks, so hopefully this was helpful. All right, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, tell a friend or 10,000, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.